Hi, this is Melinda Elliott, and this is a demonstration of how to tally and prepare a summary table from the raw data from SurveyMonkey. This Excel spreadsheet contains some sample survey results from SurveyMonkey. This video will walk you through the steps for tabulating and preparing the summary data using formulas and other tools to do this efficiently. This survey has a scale of 0 to 2. The first step is to tally the zeros, ones, and twos. Start by creating labels in the column to the left of the first data column. Next, we use the function COUNTIF to tally the zeros. We wish to do that in this cell. You can see that Excel gives you a prompt with the required formula components and the exact format of the formula. We are now on the range part. To select the range, click on the bottom cell of the range and drag the cursor up to the top cell of the range. Next, the formula requires a comma and then the criteria. And then finally the closing parentheses. And you can see I have no zeros in this column, and the formula tallied 0, which it should. Next, you do the same thing to tally the ones. If you can see here, it was difficult to see the prompts that Excel gave you, so I copied it and pasted it here to make it easier to read. You want the same range as before, comma, quotation marks equals 1 quotation mark and close parentheses. Again, there are no ones in this column, so the tally is 0. Next, we'll do the same to tally the twos. Again, the same range, comma, now the criteria, quotation, equals 2, quotation mark, close parentheses, press enter. Now you can see we have a tally of 10 because there are actually 10 twos. If you count these up, there are 10 of them. Now we can copy all of these formulas to the adjacent cells and it will tally all of the remaining columns. So you highlight the 3 cells. I use Control-C. You can also right-click and do copy. You can see that it has copied those 3 cells because you see the little moving dots in the green boxes. Now you highlight all of the cells that you want them to copy to. Keep moving over till we get to the end. And then press Control-V to paste. Again, you can do right-click and paste, but I find it easier just to do Control-C and Control-V. You can see here that there are a total of 9 2's, and there's 1 n. So it did not do anything with the n. It just ignored it when counting the zeros, the 1's, and the 2's. Next, we want to tally the total number of responses, or n. We will use the sum function to do that. But first we'll type our label. As always, we begin a function with the equal sign and sum. The prompt tells us that we can do one number and then another number, but of course we can do a range, and we want the range of the tally zeros, tally ones, and tally twos. And press enter. And it tells us that we have 10 responses. Now we can copy that formula to all the rest of the adjacent cells. So I press Control C, and then I highlight the cells that I wish to copy, and I press Control V to paste. The next step is to calculate the percentage of the total responses for the zeros, ones, and twos. As you can see, I've already typed the labels. The cells need to be set up as percentages first. To do that, highlight the cells, click on the Number tab up at the top, select Percentage, and the decimal places. I want 1, and then press OK. Now, to set up the percentage for the zeros, it's just a matter of typing the equal sign, clicking on the tally of zeros, type a divided sign, and click on the total n's for that column, and press enter. And it came up correctly, of course, with 0%. Let's do that again for the next one. Equals, there's my tally ones, type the divided sign, click on the total for the column, and press enter. And finally, for the twos, equals tally twos divided by total n, and press enter. And you can see it's calculated everything correctly. Now you can copy these formulas to all the adjacent cells. And press Control V. Here's what the summary table looks like. You can see that the questions in the table go vertically down the rows. But as I go back up to our survey results, you can see that the questions go horizontally across the columns. There's an easy way to copy and paste the data so that the columns and rows are reversed, but there's an important step that needs to happen first. While the results in the tallies and percentages appear as numbers, remember that they are formulas. There's the formula. Watch what happens if you try to copy and paste these results into another cell. It didn't copy the 100%, but instead it copied the formula, and the formula doesn't actually make sense in that cell. We have to first change the contents of the cells into values instead of formulas. To do that, we will highlight both the labels and all of the formulas, and we will copy, Control C, and then we'll go to the place where we want to copy all of these cells. But instead of pressing Control V, go up here to the Paste tool and select this option, Paste Values. And it looks okay, but you may notice a problem. The percentages are not set up as percentages, so we will highlight all of the percentages and go to the Numbers tab, select Percentage, and again we want just one decimal point, and click OK. Now you can see when I click on this value that says 100%, what's actually up in the cell is 100%. So now the next step is to copy and paste into our table. So we have tally zeros across here, and I'm going to copy just the first 10 questions. Control C to copy, and my tally zeros goes here. So I've highlighted that, but again I go to the Paste tool, and you can see this little icon here. It says Transpose. Select that, and now I have my zeros that formerly went across now going down. I'll do the same with the tally ones. Paste, transpose. Here you can see that I have finished copying and pasting all the rest of the columns. All that's left to do is some formatting issues. So I will center all of these numbers, and I will put the border lines in, and now it's done.